All right, well, it's my privilege to be here with you today as we talk about ultimate proof of the Christian worldview. And, that's something that a lot of people have wondered about. How can I give an argument for the Christian worldview that is irrefutable, or is there such a thing? Do I have to make sort of a blind leap of faith? Well, you don't have to make a blind leap of faith. You do need faith. But it's a faith that I believe to be objectively provable. I believe the Christian worldview can be demonstrated to be true logically. And that's something that a lot of Christians, I think, don't understand. But what I want to give you today is an argument for the Christian worldview, a proof that is absolutely knock down, drag out. There's no refutation to it. And that ought to be worth coming to the conference, don't you think? You see, as we get to know Jesus in a deeper way, we want to share that with other people. We want to preach the gospel. That's evangelism. And as we do this, as we go out and preach the gospel, we find that there are some people that object to what we have to say. They'll say, oh no, you can't believe the Bible because of X, Y, and Z. And so what apologetics is helping them over those stumbling blocks, X, Y, and Z. And what I want to do is give you an argument that in a way it kind of pulls the rug out from under X, Y, and Z and says you couldn't even object to the Christian worldview unless it were first true. And that's a very powerful argument. And I'm going to demonstrate today that the Christian worldview is the only rational possibility. There is no alternative that is logically possible to Christianity. And so therefore no one can escape the certainty of the Christian worldview. They can deny it. They can reject God, for emotional, psychological, spiritual reasons, but they can't reject God for logical reasons. And I'm convinced that that's the case. Now, as you use this argument on people, and I encourage you to do so, you need to understand that when you give this argument, people may or may not convert. They may or may not say, well, you've got me there. I've got to believe in the Bible. I've got to believe in biblical creation. I've got to be a Christian. They might say that, but they might not. Because after all, there is a difference between proof and persuasion. Okay? What I'm giving you is a proof. It's something that the conclusion logically follows from the premises, and no one can refute that proof. But people sometimes don't accept even a very good argument. That doesn't mean there's anything necessarily wrong with the argument. It just means there's something wrong with people. People are not always rational. People sometimes believe things for not so good reasons. People sometimes reject an argument that's perfectly good, and sometimes people accept an argument that's very bad. That's what logical fallacies are. Those are bad arguments that people tend to find convincing. So you just need to remember that our job is not to persuade people. That's up to the Holy Spirit. Okay, our job is to give a defense, to give an answer. And I'm going to give you a great one today, one that no one can refute. And that's all I'm promising. I'm not promising the person will convert. I'm just promising that they won't have a good comeback. They will not have a rational response to what I'm going to give you today. They may not cry uncle, but that doesn't mean I don't have them in a headlock, right? And then some people say, well, wait a minute, if we can prove the Christian worldview, then what about faith? Well, yeah, we need faith. But you see, people have a misconception of what faith is. Faith is when you have a confidence in something that you have not observed with your senses. And I can't observe God with my senses, but I can have confidence in Him, and so that is faith. It's an objectively provable faith. And so that's something that we need to cover here.